Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Welcome to my show. Well, during the last 8 weeks, all of us have been confined to our homes, and it's caused all of us to kind of look around and see stuff that we didn't see before, like floors. And when are we going to get those floors done, honey? So to talk about that, Brandon Moody, he's with Flooring Inspirations. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I was impressed. You're a family-owned company.
Yes, sir. We've started about 7 years ago. We have my mom works for us, my dad works for us, my brother, my uncles, a couple of my best friends work for us. So yeah, we're totally a family business.
And I like that because sometimes bigger's not better. Sometimes you get these large, corporations come in to Texas and decisions are being made out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
I like a local family-owned company. Is it cool to have each other's back?
It is, because at least at the end of the day where you stand with each other. As long as you're really able to have some clear communication through the process, I think at the end of the day they're going to have your back, and that's what the most important part is as an owner of a company or anything like that. That your people have your back and will run through walls no matter what for you. So it's a really cool thing to be able to say we're blessed to be able to have. That's for sure.
Well, let's talk about floors because they can really make the difference between a warm home and a cold home. I mean, when you walk in the door and you see beautiful wood floors, it makes a difference.
Yeah, when I'm talking to my consumer, I say I'm one of the top 3 to 4 aspects to a house of the aha moment. Curb appeal would be the landscaping and the outside facades. But when you walk in the door, I happen to be part of the aha moment, my industry does, of when a person walks in the door the first time or a friend comes over, of what they get to see. And hopefully these days they're trying to put that same thing all the way through the whole house.
So as you looked at this pandemic, were you thinking the way I'm thinking, that it did cause people to start to look at where they spend a lot of time, home?
Yes, we kind of looked at it, a couple of people looked at it as, they're not going to do anything because the scare of the financial side of things. But then we've seen over the last couple of months that people are getting tired of looking at their floors specifically.
Yes.
Or their backsplash or their kitchen, and this has given them, usually somebody in the conversation has been talking about it for a little while.
Yes.
And now it's we're around each other, so it's spurring the decision-making process a little faster for those that have already got it kind of already in the works.
You bet. And you guys do a great job. We've got a little video that we're going to roll of you guys in the process of doing these floors. Is there a particular size project that you guys like? I mean, are you doing mostly small homes or?
We do all sizes. There's really not a job too small that we really don't take on. Mm-hmm. It's just whether or not we are fit for them and vice versa. But we do large scale homes, 18,000, 20,000 square foot type of jobs, all the way to 200 square foot to 100 square foot jobs. And
no kidding.
I've done a patch of carpet before, so it's really nothing really we won't really tackle as far as the size goes.
Yes.
And we try to keep things clean. As you saw that one of our installers, as you do demo work, there's always the scare of how messy you're going to make it. So we try to keep that mess down, is what you were seeing in that video right there too. So
very cool. We're going to show the after because we've seen, and that's beautiful. It's just it's amazing what great wood flooring can do to the look of a house.
Yes, and a lot of people are getting in that itch of maybe they've had a home for a few years, whether it was in the 90s or the early 2000s, where the floors weren't consistent across the board. And in our area specifically, we have a lot of people that are like, can we stretch this wood over into the kitchen?
Yes.
Or can we stretch it over into other areas? Or what can we do to make this first floor at least consistent flooring-wise? And so that's what we've been trying to tackle the last year or two is achieving just that.
And Brandon, you've got a great reputation among builders. I know you do a lot of work with builders. And these are relationships that you guys have built over years.
Yes, I've been blessed that my dad, who's been doing it for a little over 40 years in the industry, has built great relationships with builders in the area that respect high quality and good service, and not feeling like a number.
Yes.
Like a lot of builders do with certain people in our industry. And so we've made a point to where we try to at least make them feel very important, like they're one of our family.
Yes.
And that's how we try to treat them, and they treat us the same way. So it's a good relationship that we've got with our builders.
No, I like that, and I think you're like I am, where a deal is a deal. The handshake means something, and if you do right by your customers, they're going to tell all their friends.
Absolutely, absolutely. We hope that they tell at least 3 to 4 people, and we've been around for a while, so you don't tend to be around.
Yeah.
And these days, where people can rate you immediately on social media and whatnot, and us still be around and have a good rating, I think that says something to how my dad's put things together over time, and hopefully continue and do the same thing.
Tell me one of your favorite memories. You know, in my business, the win is I'm going to get you booked on, a national news program or something like that.
Right.
For you, what's the win? Is it when they see it, the finished product?
I think it's, I kind of compare it a lot of times when I'm talking to my customers, it's like a song and dance. Specifically more like a dance of when you first learn to dance with a partner, you step on each other's toes, and sometimes it gets frustrating through the song, but by the time you practice it a little bit, by the time you get to the end, it's a beautiful piece of art, right?
Yes.
So same thing whenever we get clients, it's up front, you never know what's going to look like. We don't know what's behind these walls. We don't know what's underneath the floor. We don't really know what's going on until we get into it. And somewhere along the lines, you're going to get really upset with me. You're going to question yourself possibly through this process.
Right.
But by the end, it's something beautiful. It's something that they had visioned, and it actually comes to reality. And getting to see their faces and them getting to tell other people about that excitement that they had about going through that process and getting to the end.
Absolutely. And your guys really look upon themselves as artists, right? It's not just a job. It's not a cookie cutter thing. I mean, this is the person's home. They're going to be looking at that flooring for decades.
For a long time. And it's important not just on our side to give them good quality products that will achieve that goal, but it's also the installation side, right? That's the other dual purpose that our installers have been with us for quite a while. Our carpet guy's been with us 25 years. So him seeing different things on job sites and being able to maneuver different carpets in that example is really valuable for us, and to be able to provide for our consumer.
Well, I've got to believe that every time you do a project, it leads to 2 or 3 others, because people are coming in saying, oh my God, who did your floors?
Absolutely. And most people are proud to show it off. And that's how you know that you did a good job is, yeah, we had a wine and dine, or we had a special event going on, and they just couldn't stop raving about the floors or whatever they happen to take on as a project, and we hope to be a part of that. And if it was a whole house remodel or something like that, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a great opportunity that I get to do in our industry to make hopefully people happy and singing our praises for years and years and years to come.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. We're going to put your website up so people can get in touch with you. Go ahead and give us the domain name.
It's flooringinspirations.texas.com.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Brandon. You were great.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.